Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to October's What Are You Playing for 2024. I am Mike Elbert, and who's playing some games with me tonight?
This is Joe Butler, and I'm being haunted by my wife again, but this time it's in a 2023 remake. Ooh.
You mean 2024?
Whatever, you know what I mean.
So how's that edible hitting you there, buddy? Huh?
I think I'm next. I'm Michael Colby, and I'm playing video games.
And I'm Isaiah, been on the show a couple times, and I am playing video games too.
That's good. We have more to talk about, and I actually have games to mention this week. That's
Yeah!
I'll get the first one out of the way. I've been playing Marvel Snap. Hey, who would have?
No!
I mean,
Mike!
I actually stopped playing Marvel Snap for a bit, so...
I can't. I also said I'd stop spending money on the game, and that hasn't happened either, so...
I figured out how to get Mike to stop playing Marvel Snap and get him to play another card game on his phone. Mike, did you see Boltero's out for your phone?
I'm okay. It's not... It doesn't have Marvel characters.
It's fun, though.
I know, it sounds really good, actually, but I'm a sucker for Marvel. Like, they did the Spider-Man season last month, now they're doing the Venom season this month, and I'm loving the Venom season. I've already gotten most of the cards for the season. I'm going to buy the rest that are coming out with in-game currency that I've been saving up, but no, game is still fun. And right now, by the time you hear the event's already over, they have a high voltage event, which is 3 turns of Marvel Snap, and you get way more energy. And I'm like, I don't want this mode to go away because this is more fun. And I went and played the original mode, and I'm like, I don't like this game anymore. It's not as fast. So yeah, I'm not gonna be happy when they take away this mode. Unfortunately,
I can understand, especially because Marvel Snap was originally advertised as this fast-paced pick up and go game. So I mean, I still keep up with everything because eventually I'll pick it back up. I played it nonstop when it first came out, and eventually you just get burned out.
No, that's fair. I don't know how I'm still playing it and why I'm still giving them at least $15 to $20 a month. But hey,
well,
nobody can figure that out.
That value that you get for that $15 to $20 a month is actually worth it.
Well, I mean, $5 with the gold pass, $10 with the season pass, and I try not to buy any bundles. I did buy one $10 Craven bundle because I wanted gold to buy variants. So I was like, well, this is a good deal.
I mean, and generally, yeah, you do get some really good deals. Although, I don't know if he still does it, but there's a YouTuber, Alex Kocha, who used to go over the bundles that would come up and what gives you the best bang for your buck competitively.
I think he still does. I watch his videos every week for his decks of the week just to see what decks I should be using sometimes because I don't like my own deck.
I highly suggest checking out him and Cozy Snap every Monday. They release 2 episodes, one each, for what they call the Snapchat.
I used to watch that.
Yeah, it is good.
It is good.
I listen to it on occasion just because, I still keep up with the game. So
right now, I used to listen to that. I don't anymore, unfortunately. I check out their videos once in a while. I watch some of the Jeff Hoogland videos, but mainly it's just I just want to see what's upcoming. For sure. Mainly, I just care about spotlights. I just want to know: do I need to save up my keys, or can I just go hog wild and just get cards and not worry about it? Like, do I need to save them up for cards I don't have? Which
That's
right now,
fair.
Because I'm gonna finally get Super Giant next week, which I don't care about, but new card, I'll take it. I don't have, and I'm gonna finally get Valentina, which I do want. So
there you go.
I like that style of deck, but right now I've been super into discard, and they just released Scorn, and this is good.
OP.
Yeah,
I've heard he makes discard super good.
They're gonna nerf her next month, but she's great right now. They're 100% gonna nerf her next month.
I wouldn't doubt it. They have
everything within a month.
They have to though. Just because there are certain cards just get so oppressive. But I will say the second dinner does a really good job of targeting how to make the card balanced when they nerf it.
Oh yeah, I have no problem when they do nerfs. Like some people, throw fits and cry. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I use different cards. Like fuck it. Like I don't care. Hey, as long as Galactus is ruling the game again and Shuri isn't ruling the game again, I don't care what they do.
I see some Reddit videos of people pulling some really dope Galactus plays, and it's insane.
I mean,
it's insane.
It's just you can pull good Galactus play, but it's not like how it once was, where you could just pretty much play Galactus and you win because there just weren't. It was like Galactus and play game over. Like that was it.
Right.
Play Electro, you could sit there and do nothing and just drop 6-turn, drop Galactus on 5, you won, game over. Like they couldn't beat it unless they had a they couldn't. Something they couldn't beat it because they didn't have priorities. They couldn't even stop you.
Right.
Because Echo wasn't in the game yet at the time, so there was no counters to stop a person from doing that if you didn't have they do a great job of keeping the game fun and keeping it engaging. I still play it every single day. I try to do on missions. I love it. I can't. Yeah, I just think the game is great. I've been playing Discard. I'm still playing a Thanos deck.
What kind of world do we live in where there's better like bans and hot fixes and things in a Marvel card game than there is in like Overwatch or some shit? Because I always feel like Overwatch is always like badly optimized.
Well,
every month Mike talks about Snap, it's always like, yeah, they fixed this and they fixed this and they banned this and did that, and it's like, goddamn.
Because it's simple. It is changing text on a card, changing ability, changing powers and energies. Like Overwatch, I mean, you probably have to tweak things so much differently to make it work. I'm assuming.
They pick which characters are broken on fan favorites. So like Diva and fucking Mercy and all them are all broken because everyone loves making art of them, and so Roadhog and Genji and all the other characters no one cares about don't really get good buffs or costumes or things like that.
Well, yeah, they're gonna Overwatch is definitely gonna go based on fan popularity because it's Activision Blizzard. Like they care more about the money more than anything else. Whereas Marvel Snap, they know that if they take care of the fan base, the money will come.
Oh yeah, they'll find those whales.
Oh yeah, they will. Yeah, they will.
I see them. I'm not one of them, thank God, but I see them.
I wasn't one of them either.
I spent my $15, and I try not to do more than that, but I feel like the season pass is actually worth it, so I'm okay with it. But that's enough. Oh, and Anti-Venom is coming to the game when you're hearing this in a few days. Depending on when you listen to this, or depending on how my timing, but he's coming soon. I'm excited because I'm getting him and I'm getting Toxin, who's going to be a bounce card, and I can't wait.
Oh, Anti-Venom's so going to be in that new Venom movie. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Yeah, is he connected to No?
He's connected to Eddie Brock, I think.
Oh, I don't know enough about Anti-Venom. I have a Funko Pop Anti-Venom on the ground because my cat keeps knocking it down. But yeah.
It's just symbiote without the hive mind or the we. So it's just Eddie Brock running around in a Venom suit with no talking, and he's like helping people, and then like a bunch of other people get other Venom suits and try to fight him because they hate him. So there's like Venom Scorpion and Venom other characters.
So wait, you're saying a bunch of Venom characters end up fighting discount cosplay Black Suit Spider-Man?
Yeah.
That's never happened before.
Right.
All right. And Joe, what is something you've been playing?
So I'm going to go ahead and say it for the end of the podcast. I'll talk about something else. I've been playing this game with my husband. I'm blanking on the name because I got put on the spot. Abiotic Factor, which is a game made by a bunch of Australian people, and it's basically just if you like survival craft, it's just survival craft, but it's Half-Life. So you're basically just wake up in the lab, and it's all Half-Life models too, and everything slightly tweaked to avoid like copyright and stuff. But it's even funnier because Gabe Newell's like, hey, it's pretty cool. If you guys help with models and like shit, here you go. You can tweak them too if you want to. And they're like, okay. So you have different classes. You can pick classes, I say quote unquote, because all it is there's a one main ability you can pick, like heavier lifting or having a bigger brain and things like that. And you basically kind of invent stuff to become your new weapon. So you like you can pick up like a knife, and it's like, oh, you had an idea for a new invention, and like both me and my husband are carrying around like hot spear knives that we stab like enemies with and things like that. And there's other knockoff inspirations. Like at some one point there's like a portal that opens up because that's the plot of Half-Life, and you jump in and there's it's basically Silent Hill, and there's big what was real popular a while back, Siren Head. There's big Siren Head monsters that you can't kill, so you have to sneak around, avoid them and things like that. And we got past that area, but sometimes fog shows up in our area now too, and all this other goofy stuff, and we've been having really a lot of fun with it. I don't know if there's a max player cap, but if you're one of those people who like all these weird, like, oh, I like to play crafting games with my friends, and there's like 8 of us and all this other stuff, there's at least a different amount of classes to where you can go. And honestly, playing with more people probably makes the game go by faster. Kind of. I say that because just me and my husband, and I honestly don't know how far we are. The game's also still in early access too, which is really nice. But oh, what is it? I think they said that the final update will be out by Halloween, which is pretty cool. But they've been adding stuff by like the past couple of months, which has been pretty cool. They've added like ice biomes, and they've added like fishing, and then they added like guns. I think the worst part is because in Half-Life, the original, it's OG Half-Life too, not the newer stuff. So like you fight soldiers and you can kill them, but their guns are all biometric locked. So you have to invent like an item that goes around your arms that also has like the bones of your enemies to use their guns. And it's all just kind of goofy, quirky shit that like you would see in not Bethesda, in Valve games. Yeah, Valve games. So I think at nighttime there's a bunch of enemies that like crawl on their hands and legs, and they like eat off all the shit that you don't pick up. That way, that's how they keep the world from becoming overpopulated with stuff and things like that. And it's funny because they'll say like shitty office banter, like "How's the weather?" and "I wish it was Friday," and it's just like, God damn, these little tiny NPCs. But we had a pretty good time with it.
That's what matters in the end, that you're having fun.
Right.
Never heard of this, but I don't like crafting games, so I don't think I do, at least.
It takes a special person to like crafting games. My husband loves crafting games, and I'm not a big fan of those because they can get really wacky sometimes.
I also don't like anything that's not single player, so there's that too.
That's also fair.
But that's a me problem. That's not, yeah. And Colby, what is something you've been playing?
Well, I have a bunch, but I've been, depressed lately, so I can't concentrate on anything for a long time. So I haven't been playing anything big, but I found this thing called You Want Those Games, right? So here you go. Now let's see you clear them, which is a collection of, how like when you're scrolling through social media and you see ads for particular types of phone games, and then you download those phone games and they're not the thing that they say that they are.
Yes.
All the time.
This is a collection of those games. It's like the pin pulling game and the color mixing game and the parking game and the thing where you like have towers and you have to take your little dude who's like a level 13 and then you have to pick one that you can beat and then that one goes away and then you pick. So it's only those. And there's
it's all the fake games.
It's hundreds and hundreds of just those games that you feel like should be fun. But then when you download them, it's like a city builder and, whatever else every phone game is. So this is just a collection of those mini games. And it's fantastic. They did a really good job on it. And I think it's really cool that they did this because those games are not what they're advertised as. And
right.
I'm like, yeah, I want to play this game. I've been playing so much of this one that's the towers, and like your little dude starts at like a level 5. So you have to find the level 4, and then you're a level 9, and then you have to find the level 8. You know how those types of things work.
I watch that ad all the time.
Yeah. And here's the actual game. And it's in something that I also appreciate because I like to make like my SEO for all of my podcasts and stuff really difficult to find for people. So I appreciate that they called this thing, You Want Those Games, right? So here you go. Now let's see you clear them. That's the name of the game.
It looks really cool, actually. I just wish listed. I'm gonna have to pick this up at some point.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I don't even know if we could do an episode on it because it's, games that take 3 minutes to play. And they should be phone games, but they're not. They're on console and Steam and,
Colby, if I can record a hour and 10-minute episode about a 2.5-hour Kingdom Hearts mobile game dubbed video, I think I can record on this. So
okay, all right. Well, it's a lot of fun.
Idea was that?
I wonder, Mr. High. I wonder.
All right. Well, we'll have to beat a Kingdom Hearts episode with these games. But yeah, that's one of the things I've been playing, and it's just really fun, and I think everybody should give it a shot because it's by a little publisher, and it's sort of like UFO 50. It's a bunch of stuff by a bunch of different people who are just trying to I didn't play much of UFO 50, so I can't like speak on it too well. Do you know what UFO 50 is?
I do, yes, a little bit. One of my
okay.
friends was playing it and talking about it. So I know
Okay.
a little, but not a lot. But I know
Okay.
of it.
Well, it's basically if they would have made Action 52 good back in the day, it's a collection of 50 different 8-bit sort of, Nintendo-ish games. And I've played about 6 of them now, and they're all really good. But I really haven't played enough of it to speak on it. But I love collections of games that are made by, one person or a couple of people who have like a vision and they do that thing. Like, I love when people do a thing that they're passionate about, even if it's for like a very niche audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially it doesn't cost you a lot to make it. Like,
yeah. And you can sell it for, I think UFO 50 is $25, and I think these games were like
They're 10.
yeah, like it was really, really cheap. So
yeah, $10.
Yeah,
UFO 50, yeah.
To get that much entertainment out of a package like that costs so little, it's like I really, really appreciate that.
Sometimes variety stuff like this is just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, especially if it's got a ton of different games, sometimes you want to play, something that requires you to think. Sometimes you want to play something brainless.
Yeah.
And if it's all wrapped into one game.
Like the 2 other games I'll talk about later. Both are brainless. One worse than the other, but
I have some brainless stuff to talk about later too.
None of the stuff I play is brainless.
What is something you've been playing?
So the main thing I've been playing, I actually got back into Warframe recently. For those that aren't familiar, Warframe is essentially a spaceborne looter shooter, similar to Destiny in a way, but not. And so the best way that I can describe it without giving anything away is essentially your space ninjas that, if you like, with the characters you control are considered different frames, is what they're called. And it really kind of has something for everybody. If you're more into gunplay, there are frames that really focus on that. If you're more into like using abilities to take down rooms of enemies, there are frames that are focused on that. So it's one of those games, like I've kind of recently just picked it up and I wondered why I stopped playing it in the first place, because I barely have been able to put it down.
That's always a good sign.
Go ahead.
Zach can answer that extremely well for you. It's because it costs money and new characters cost money, and it's basically gambling.
Nope.
I say that as I have my my WA, my Warframes Anonymous pin, 5 years going strong until that new goddamn DLC comes out.
Oh, Warframe 1999 coming out at the end of the year?
You cannot keep me from playing that fucking game. That looks so great.
Oh, yeah. Well, and see, like, a lot of people want to say that Warframe is very pay to win. It is not very pay to win. It does have pay to win. Like, you can literally just buy platinum to buy most things in the game. There are some things that you can't buy. You have to literally farm them. But everything that you can buy in game had to be farmed by somebody else, unless you're buying it directly from the market, which is still farmable in game. Aside from cosmetic stuff, you can't farm the cosmetic stuff and most of the cosmetic stuff in game. You generally have to buy some of that. But like it's one of those things where I don't spend a whole lot of money on this game. Like I'll occasionally buy like beginner packs and stuff when they come out, just because like, hey, it's a weapon I don't have. Plus it gives me, this much platinum. All right. Like, why not? It's $10. But it's very much like I'm actually, some of my some of my Destiny 2 clanmates are playing it with me. And I've been helping them farm up a ton of stuff. Because if I can farm it in game, why spend money on it?
Yeah, it's completely fair.
And one of the things that I will say about this that I love about Warframe, so there's a Destiny 2 streamer who also started playing Warframe after Destiny 2 kind of after, what's his name? Bungie went and laid off a bunch of people and the game kind of hit a standstill for a bit. His name is Mactix, and he was playing it and he's like, how is it that Warframe's side quest content is better than the storyline is better than most main quest lines in most games? Because DE Digital Extremes, the makers of Warframe, actually put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into even their side quests, like music production and everything. For instance, there's a side quest in here called the Call to Tepestari, where they went and actually hired a very well known, I think she's Icelandic singer to voice one of the characters and have her sing, like, be the vocals on a song that they released with the side quest. Like, they do a really good job. And one of the other cool things about Warframe, the community is usually very helpful, and they don't spoil shit for you. Okay, like, the Warframe community does not spoil shit. They will not tell you anything story related, because it's best when you find the twists and turns yourself. So
I know a very specific twist and turn that I would bring up, but I also want to talk about Warframe too. Warframe has it's weird because, like, you probably, I don't know if you have heard of it, but it has as big as a fan base as like Final Fantasy 14. Like, honestly, I'm surprised people don't talk about it more. They have TennoCon, because technically these space dolls, which is what we call them, these space dolls that you buy and play as, are called Tennos, so they call it TennoCon. And that's where they announce all the new, like, skins and the new updates coming out and things like that. And it has tons of viewers on Twitch whenever it comes out.
Oh yeah.
I see if you can answer me this correctly. When you buy Platinum, which is basically the digital currency, you get a coupon sometimes, right?
So if you're on PC, i.e. playing through Steam, you can get coupons for discounts on Platinum. If you're playing on console, because they can't do an instant discount, you get a coupon for bonus Platinum.
Yes. So what my husband used to do, I used to get phone calls where he'd call me and be like, hey, and I'd be like, I'm out with my friends. And he's like, would it be okay if I buy Platinum? Because you play on console. And he's like, would it be okay if I buy Platinum? Because if I buy this Platinum, there's a chance I can get more Platinum so I can get the better character. And I'm like, yeah, you can buy Platinum, get more Platinum. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
And,
see, like I said, I occasionally buy stuff that has Platinum in it. Like, right now, my character has like 555 Platinum on him. And that's just an estimate. But, like, most everything that I get in game, I farm up. Like, the latest frame I've been playing is the most recent Prime frame that was released, Sevagoth Prime, and I farmed him through I went through all the pain of the relics. I went through all the pain of cracking relics to get Nautilus Prime, the new Prime companion that came out. So, like, I don't like spending my money on stuff I can spend some time and farm up. So, contrary to popular belief, you do not have to break the bank to get a lot of stuff in Warframe.
Yeah, I'll give it that too. Colby, Michaelton, did y'all play a lot of 360 PS3 era games?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember Dark Sector?
I love that game.
This is
I really do, actually.
This is the spiritual sequel to that game.
Warframe?
The people who made Dark Sector are still making Warframe.
But it's an online game, right? From the sound of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's an online game. But you can play completely solo if you want. You just, like,
It's a little harder.
You have to put more. It's definitely a little harder, but it's very doable. Like, there are people. So there's the hardest content in the game is it's called Steel Path. It's essentially, once you complete all the star chart, you unlock Steel Path, which is the same star chart, except all the enemies have higher levels. Well, some of the mission types are endless, and the enemies just get stronger as you go. And there's actually a niche community that will do solo endless runs where they will literally take the enemy up to level 9,999 by themselves. It's very doable. I don't want to invest 5 hours into a single run just for internet points.
God. People keep saying, yeah, I have a friend who plays Warframe, and I was like, oh yeah, I got this Steam Deck. I'm thinking about playing Warframe, and he's like, don't bother. I was like, what? He goes, look, man. He said, if you haven't been playing this game since the beginning, you're not going to have any idea what's going on. And he was right, because I did end up downloading it, and I'm like, I'm looking at this thing, and there's so many menus, and there's so much shit, and it is online, and it's like you need this currency to buy this currency to buy this thing, and if you have this thing, you can use that for this to get this. And I'm like, I can't even. I don't care enough about this game. The game's not good enough to go through all that bullshit
Let me ask you, how long ago was that? Because DE goes through and revamps the new player experience and adds new help menus and stuff like that, like, all the time. In fact, the most recent update, which had a new frame that was released, they went and revamped a lot of the newer player learning tools. So that way, like, when you learn about modding, if you're under a certain mastery rank, which is like your account level, if you're under a certain account level, it'll actually let you know, hey, you still have unspent mod points on your frame or on your weapon or on your companion.
And that might sound simple to you who has been playing the game, but it was about 6 months ago when I played it. And
they've done quite a few new player revamps since then.
That's insane. The amount of changes that they make in 6 months is I can't even. I deleted it and I'm like, it's fine. Warframe, it's for a lot of people. It's not for me.
Yeah,
definitely. Like, it's definitely not a game for everyone.
No. And that's fine. Not everything's for everyone. But like, I do know, I hear two different types of Warframe players. There are the types of Warframe players who are like, oh yeah, everybody needs to play Warframe. And then there's Warframe players who are like, I'm prestiged or whatever, and nobody needs to play Warframe. I don't even want to play Warframe.
Yeah. That's
See, I'm in the middle ground. Like, I love the game, but I won't force anybody to play it. Like, once I found out a couple of my Destiny buddies played it, I was like, cool. I invited them to my clan. I'm now their official Warframe daddy because, like, I teach them things. I show them different tricks and, help them out with setups and stuff like that. It's definitely like one of those games. If you have somebody to kind of help you and guide you, it's way better. Just because you were right. Well, especially when I first started playing back in like 2016, like it was very confusing. I did not have a lot of information to go off of. Then I picked it back up in like 2020 during the pandemic and had a couple of guys really kind of show me the ropes and then put it down because work and life and Warframe burnout, and then picked it back up and, now I'm helping others. That's
cool though. It looks really cool. Like I'm watching it and I do definitely see the Dark Sector like vibe to it, but I'm good.
They also have DE also has another game coming out called Soulframe, which apparently is supposed to be like Warframe with a Dark Souls twist.
Yeah, I also yes, I have a thing against games that don't end. I know that that's like a selling point for a lot of people, but if I can't be done with a game, I'm not even going to start it because I don't want to play anything forever. I like to play new things, and everybody is like, "Oh yeah, if you play this, there's like 900 hours of content." And I'm like, "I don't want 900 hours of content. I want 15 hours of content, and then let me try something new."
This is what I would have wanted in like high school when I didn't have a job or something like that. Not, 36-year-old Mike with a podcast and a job and a kid and a wife. Like, no, I don't got. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's again.
I mean, I'm 40 with a job and a girlfriend and a kid, so
yeah, you're missing the podcast part.
It's not even, and I don't even think it's that. Like the people who I know who play Warframe also have partners and kids and jobs and everything. It's not even that. It's just that there are types of people who like the I guess comfort of playing that thing that they like
your one game.
And then there are people like me and Mike who like to try new things.
Oh, for sure.
Well,
for sure.
I don't know about Mike. Mike has a podcast called Games My Mom Found where he talks about older games. So,
but a lot of them are new to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't necessarily mean new. I mean different from the thing that we have been playing.
I get that too. It's a thing where some people are content coming home every day and playing like Final Fantasy or doing dungeon crawls and things like that. I'm not judging like WoW people or Final Fantasy 14.
Like, if you have a group of friends and like that's what you do, like there was a friend of mine that he tried to get me to play like Dead by Daylight and other stuff. I'm like, I just don't want to play. Like I can't play the same game. Like that's not how I am. Like I like to play a game, beat it, and then move on. Like that's just how I always been. Even since I was a kid.
I feel like Dead by Daylight's a Friday only. You can do a Fridays only thing too with a group of friends and just be like, all right, it's been a long week. Let's just fucking beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, but I played with people that got angry when they lost, so I didn't help the situation.
That's fair. There's some friends I won't. There's some friends I won't play like 4-player stuff with because they like legit hate losing, and it's like, oh, okay.
You can't like Dead by Daylight didn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're all playing to get points.
Still get points, but yeah.
Well, and like what's funny too is like when I say that Warframe kind of has everything has something for everybody. There are people who don't even play the game to like progress. They play the game to like deck out their frames fashion wise. A lot of people say the true end game of Warframe is fashion frame.
It really is.
Like there's so many options. Like because I've actually got the game booted up right now. Like if I go into my Warframe's customization options, you can buy color palettes. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 24, 20. There's 25 different color palettes, and each color palette has about 70 options.
Too many. I don't like
that's too much.
And then there's also
it's
the
all
attachments
too
that
much.
you can put on there.
Yeah, all that just turns me away real fast. I don't like a lot of options.
You don't have to fashion out your frame.
I know.
So-
I wouldn't.
Like I just hit the random colors button a couple of times till I find something I like as far as the color goes. Throw some stuff on it. Like that looks good. Go out and kill shit.
Now, to be fair, which is even funnier because I know he's going to say something, they do reference a lot of stuff. There is, in fact, a Warframe which has essentially a stand, and you can make it look like Dio. So, I mean, there's a little bit of everything for everyone. Wink, wink.
There really is.
Don't tell me that.
All right,
That Dio is my husband.
You know, I that shows how far I got your podcast. I really need to catch up.
Well, we're on part 3 right now, so Dio's soon going to be back, and then it'll be a lot more Dio content.
So I have another dumb game to talk about that I can't believe I'm playing. I'm breaking my own rule. So I'm playing another mobile game that's not Marvel Snap that I did not download. My son did. Called Doomsday. It's one of those stupid ones where you see the hot girls that need help, and he downloaded it because he's 17 and plays on my phone. And I was like, I looked at it like a city building game. Like, oh well, I don't see you that much. You're not gonna be able to build these, city up. So I'm gonna just start doing it for you. So I just started, okay, I'll log in, I'll click it, upgrade it. Okay, come back in 10 minutes, upgrade another one. I'm doing that. And then next thing I know, I'm looking at this game, which is like, you want to talk about menu overload? Like, it took me a bit to understand what I was looking at, because there are probably over 20, 30 icons on the screen, in the home screen of the game while you're playing it.
Oh my
like,
God.
It's overload, like, of stuff. And just the way the game is, but like it's a couple, like you have a little building, you send your troops out to go fight zombies, or they just sit there and you just watch it. Like there's another thing where you have like the 3 heroes stand together and fight a horde. Like, and I'm actually sitting here, been playing it like every single day now. And I'm like, I was playing it for him, and yesterday he's messing with it. I told him I upgraded his building. I'm like, hey, don't do that. You're doing this wrong. Do this. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, this is my game now.
That's how it starts.
It's actually, I kind of like it. I mean, I ain't going to spend a dime on it, but I kind of like it.
What's it called? Doomsday? Something else? Or just Doomsday?
I think it's just called Doomsday from what I saw on the icon.
Okay.
I didn't download it. But it is one of those games that you have seen because it has like the fake looking Jill on it. It's called Doomsday Metal Warrior.
Okay, yeah, it's the first one you probably type in. Okay.
So, like, there's a fake looking Jill from RE3. I haven't gotten her yet. There's a fake girl from like Lollipop.
Oh, one of those.
It's one of those. I know why you downloaded it. But
because I saw an ad for a mobile game that was like, it was like the most fetishiest thing I've ever seen. It was like a giant ogre woman stepping on these 2 knights,
I think I've seen
and
that.
then she like spits on them.
I've seen that
I'm
one.
like, this
That
is
is definitely a
somebody's
fetish
just
game.
complete fetish.
Oh, they know what they're doing. Like, I've been
Probably
getting
the guy who
ads.
made it.
I used to get Podbean ads, and now I've been getting ads for AI girlfriends.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It's okay.
I was like, okay, that's fine. You know what? I was tired of the Podbean ads. I'm like, Podbean gets my money every week or every month. You don't need to give me an ad. Like, I've been subscribed to them for 6 years almost. Like, leave me alone. And I never, I said it out loud. I guess the phone's like, oh, you are? Okay, here you go. Have AI girlfriend ads now instead. So I get that all the time.
Oh, that's funny.
I ordered something off of AliExpress a couple weeks ago, and I just got an email today. I don't know why this reminded me of it, but I got an email today. It's like, now, first of all, just let me explain that what I ordered off of there was a Bloodborne figure and a hoodie. And I got an email today that said, "Are you still looking for blow up sex dolls?" And I was like, what? I get
You're
my
like, if it
sex
has a
dolls
pointy
from the
hat.
sex shop like a normal person.
Oh, man, you wouldn't want to buy some from AliExpress. I'm sure.
That's
AliExpress.
funny.
Man.
Hey, the phones listen to us. I mean, watch. We're going to get ads now for some of the shit
I'm
we
gonna
just
get ads for fucking blow up dolls here in a minute. I already fucking feel it.
Go ahead.
I know, right?
Sorry.
That's how it
I'm
works.
blaming you guys.
Yeah, sorry when you guys get ads for blow up sex dolls.
I'll take it. I need new YouTube ads to spice up what I'm listening to hearing Podbean every single time.
Oh, and the one that I did, the reason that I thought it was so funny was because one of them was completely clear, and I'm like,
Oh.
what?
Why?
I don't know.
Don't you want to see yourself with your...
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
But it was
about
a
the
full-
only reason I could see that is for proper cleaning.
I guess I wouldn't want to see the inside of a completely clear blow up sex doll.
No.
I don't care how clean it is.
I always have a funny story with sex dolls. When I had a job at a shipping place, and there was a big giant crate that came in once, and it broke open at the place, so they had to open it, and they were like very shocked when they saw a giant human-looking doll inside of it. So it's pretty funny.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna put this out there right now to anybody listening on like on nothing but or anybody listening that's not wearing headphones, you might want to cover your
Sorry.
keyboard.
Yeah, a little late up now, but yeah, I mean I think we're done.
I know, right? Yep, Alexa
Our-
done heard you. She's already recommending it.
Our bad.
And Joe, what is something else you've been playing?
Mouthwashing.
What?
Mouthwashing. I'm not getting to Silent Hill yet, folks. If you're still here for Silent Hill 2, that's not till probably next one. Mouthwashing. If you're
I can't tell if you're talking about a game or if you're talking what the hell you're doing.
if you are a fan of Alien and Event Horizon, Steam, there is a decent $12 game called Mouthwashing.
Oh, it's a game?
And
Stop saying it so creepy.
I know I'm gonna go first. I'm really high right now. Um,
This looks strange.
So I want to tell you all the premise real quick. So, and I'll leave it at that. Also, it's a $12 walking simulator. It is very much a psychological horror. If you need something to play for Halloween, I can guarantee you this is it. It's basically about how the ship crashes. There's a ship that's basically a delivery ship, and it hits an asteroid on purpose, and it takes place before the crash, after the crash, and maybe at the time where they're about to run out of food. Like, so 6 months after the crash. And you basically find out all the characters' backstories and why they're there. Well, the whole reasoning why it's called mouthwashing is because there is you're obviously a shipping crate company or a shipping company, and you're running it, you can barely use food. The captain, who they believe crashed the ship, is, they're trying to save all the medication for him and things like that. And so they basically go, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go to the back. Let's use the captain's code, open up the shipping department and see what we're actually shipping. And maybe it'll help us. For all we know, it could be something useful. And out of like basically a warehouse size back of the ship, every single crate is filled with nothing but mouthwash.
This looks insane.
I have never been more excited to play a game. I bought it. I had the best time with it.
Were you
Amazing. No, it was
Okay.
amazing storytelling. I loved it. It was absolutely fantastic. And like I said, it's Alien. If you like Alien, Event Horizon, Dead Space, all these kind of things, it's a game for you.
Okay, I like Dead Space a lot.
And it's a walking simulator. There's
I like
made
that too.
Yeah, so if you want something scary where it's like, oh, you want to keep dying to like a boss or something like that, or where you fight hordes of zombies, you just want something that's genuinely spooky, highly recommend Mouthwashing.
Huh, okay.
I'll
wasn't-
definitely have to look into that.
$12.
Because Event Horizon
yeah.
is one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say I wasn't going to talk about this, so I'll just talk about it real quick. If you want something weird and psychological horror, click holding, you play as a
Better be careful how you
person.
type that.
That's the joke.
You play as a person in a room, and there's a guy sitting in the cuck chair of a hotel room, and he wants to see you click this clicker thing, and that's all you do is you click the clicker thing. It is the freakiest thing I've ever played.
not
I
on
was so creeped out playing this thing. It's incredible. But yeah, same sort of thing. You don't do much, but it will creep you out if you're looking for something creepy. I think Clickholding is like $8 or something like that.
Where do you find it at?
Steam.
I am not
finding
seeing
on
it.
Steam.
When I typed in click holding, I just found she erotic treatment center, which is not what I was looking for. So, yeah, I don't know.
ClickOlding.
That's why.
No
Yeah,
holding. And
there's
it's
no holding.
$3.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's oh my god. I'm just thinking about it and I'm like, oh, gross.
I'll add to my wish list. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
check it out if it's $1.
It's so bad. It's so creepy.
It looks weird. Is there a point to it?
Yes. It's
Okay.
a story thing, like Joe was talking about with his mouth washing. With his mouth washing.
That is accurate. And Kobe, what is something else you've been playing?
Oh, it's time for Michael Colby's ass game time. Anybody who doesn't know, an ass game is what I call. People are calling them bullet heavens, which I hate because it doesn't really explain what these games are. But they're auto shooter survival games, ass games. Vampire Survivors is like the popular one, but there are so many of them now, and I will play any of them regardless of how horrible they are. And believe me, there are some horrible ones. But I have 3 that I wanted to talk about real quick. I was telling you earlier that there's one that I thought you would specifically like.
Yes.
It's called Twilight Survivors. It's like Vampire Survivors, but it's like isometric, and it's like very anime, and it's really, really easy.
And it's called Twilight Survivors?
Twilight Survivors. And it's like crazy easy. I've blown through like 4 of the levels already, and I think I've died twice. And that was just because I was trying things that I didn't think would work to begin with. But yeah, it's really just Vampire Survivors.
I love Vampire Survivors.
It's great.
So.
It's so good. There's an option to right click or to click your right stick in, and then you can turn it into a dual joystick shooter, but you don't have to do that. So that's really the only difference. But otherwise, you get your weapons, you get like your whatever they call them, like your passive things, and then if you get the right 2 together, it evolves the weapon. So just like Vampire Survivors.
Okay.
And then there's one called God of Weapons, which I've been obsessed with lately. And it's pulled in a little bit closer, so your character's a little bit bigger, but it's also isometric, and you're in a room instead of a big area, and you're going up a tower. And all the characters look Dark Souls and Bloodborne-ish.
Oh, no wonder you like it.
Yes. So that's what drew me to it at first. But the gameplay is really fun. It's Vampire Survivors, but with a dash button. So you can... it's a little bit more active than Vampire Survivors. Like you can get out of the way when attacks are coming towards you. And then,
that's nice.
And then in between floors, you add spaces to your inventory, and you have to put in weapons and stuff that enhances your weapons and your character, but it's all in a Resident Evil type of Tetris-y puzzle. So you have to you can't just make a bunch of rows, because then the weapons that you need won't fit, and you have to turn your weapons and get them to fit in where you want them.
This looks cool.
It's awesome. I've heard people say, I would play a game that's just the Resident Evil inventory system. And
yes. There's a game like that on Steam.
But that's it. That's most of what it is. The gameplay in between is almost irrelevant. It is a good Vampire Survivors type game, but the rounds are really short. So the actual game is that inventory thing. And the more you level up, the more squares you can add to your inventory, the more you can put in there, and then you can combine the weapons to make more powerful weapons, and it's just everything about it is great.
All right, I wish listed. I'll check it out at some point.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And then Halls of Torment, which is what we were talking about in the Discord. It's an ass game, but it looks like Diablo 1 down to where your health bar is like an orb with red liquid inside of it.
They know.
It's Diablo, but it has a lot of like good characters, and it has a lot more lore than most of them do. You find books, which lets you do lore. It has like a well thing where you send up new equipment that you find, and then you can buy it from the guy, and then you can equip it to your character. So it has the loot stuff from Diablo, and it's also just a blast to play. That one does not have a dodge button, which I'm sort of used to at this point because a bunch of them have dodges now. So like that was a little bit of a bummer at first, but you get used to it. They are balanced to whether or not they have a dodge button.
Okay.
So those are the ones. Twilight Survivors, God of Weapons, and Halls of Torment. If you like Vampire Survivors, you'll like all of those.
Okay.
I do like
and it. You can get all three of them for less than $10.
Damn.
I mean, I love a good cheap game.
Yeah. They're hours and hours of fun for like between $3 and $5.
All right.
I mean, that's getting your money's worth. Holy crap.
Well, I bought Vampire Survivors in beta for like $2.
Yes.
What is it now? $4?
$5. I think it's $5.
Okay, but I bought it in beta, and
Same.
I've gotten. I think my Steam save has like 300 hours.
My God.
On Vampire Survivors. But I also
Jeebus.
Okay. The thing is that you can max out your character to the point where nothing can touch your character.
Yeah, but
and then I'll close my laptop and it'll just keep running.
Okay.
So it's just like mining.
Let it get gold for you?
Yeah, it's just like mining gold for me.
That's probably what I should do. Because I can't unlock some of the characters. They're like 300,000 gold that I've unlocked.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's easy. If you have Queen Sigma, get Queen Sigma to the point where she's like blasting out, whatever weapons, and then you get it on your random upgrade path, and then just close your laptop or shut down your monitor or whatever. Just let it run. You can let it run overnight, and she'll just bring you a couple million gold when you quit out of it.
That makes sense the way you have 300 hours. I mean, I have 85 hours in it, but that's all from me actually playing it.
Yeah. Oh, I probably have half of that time actually playing it, but
still pretty good.
It is nice that you can just let it run and mine for gold sort of automatically.
Well, that is kind of cool. And Isaiah.
Yes, sir.
Any other games to mention?
Oh, of course. So I've actually gone through and installed a PS2 emulator on my phone. So when I'm not playing Warframe, like when I'm watching like wrestling or something like that, I've actually been replaying Valkyrie Profile 2 Silmeria.
Nice.
So yes. I'm kind of hoping at some point you'll do Valkyrie Profile 1 and 2 on the podcast.
I should do one. Never played it.
Yes, absolutely. Because like the Valkyrie Profile series is actually one of my favorite series outside of Final Fantasy and stuff like that. Just because I've always been huge into Norse mythology. So for those that aren't familiar, Valkyrie Profile 1 focuses on the Valkyrie Lenneth. You kind of go through her story to prevent, what's its name?
Ragnarok?
Oh, it's right there at the tip of my tongue. Yeah, Ragnarok. Valkyrie Profile 2 follows a different Valkyrie by the name of Silmeria, who inhabits the body of this girl who's the princess of Japan, who everybody thought was dead, but her father just kind of had her shipped off. So, and she essentially goes on she follows the typical Japanese RPG trope of we're going to go on a quest to kill God.
Yeah.
So in this case, it's Odin. So yeah, it's definitely one of those games that I absolutely love playing. And it actually does, like, one of the things I do like is at the end you unlock the Seraphic Gate, which is a long, like, it's the top tier dungeon. It's the end game where you got to put all your skills to the test. Valkyrie Profile 1, I don't think had the Seraphic Gate, but Valkyrie Profile 2 has it. And it's just, it's one of those games that I could burn hours playing that game, no problem. Farming up monster parts, leveling skills, or leveling characters, stuff like that. And there's a ton of characters. And it's very similar to Chrono Cross in the way that Chrono Cross had a ton of characters. If you get certain characters, you can't get others. Well, in Valkyrie Profile 2, there's multiple characters that can be unlocked in one particular slot, and it's a random chance. Some characters are better than others. Some, when you when you go through the game mechanics to release them, give you better items. So very fun game. I love it.
I've always been curious about that series. I played one once for like a few hours, but never really. Someday I'll get to it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it, and it's on PS1, so you can easily emulate it. If you have a PS4, you can buy it on PS4. Yeah,
I'd emulate it, but
so you can buy the remastered version on PS4 or PS5. Like I got my copy of Valkyrie Profile Lenneth on PS5 by pre-ordering Valkyrie Elysium. So that just goes to show how much I love those games.
Forgot that came out.
Oh yeah, it was so good, so good. But yeah, so that's one of the other games that I've been playing. And then once I beat that again, my next foray will be into Xenosaga. Assuming I can get it to emulate well, which I should be able to. My Galaxy S23 is way more powerful than a PS2 was.
You should be fine. You just might have to mess with settings, but that's it.
Exactly. So if you are going to emulate Valkyrie Profile 2, part of the problem is that some of the foreground textures, like blowing sand and stuff like that, can actually slow down emulation. There are guides online on how to fix that using cheat methods.
I have played platformers in 70% speed before, so I'll be okay. I'm not kidding either. I have played games. It's like, because I couldn't get it to work. I'm like, well, I need to play for the show. We'll just play it slower. That's right. Whatever.
Well, see, for this some of the platforming, especially to get to some of the more rare items, it requires really precise platforming.
But that's what F1, F3 are for. Shift and F1 and Shift and F3. So
you don't have you might have time for that. You might be able to do that, but it's definitely one of those things where it's very reactionary. Like to give you an idea, there's in order to get to one chest, you have to freeze an enemy, jump on him, freeze an enemy, shoot the first enemy with your photon beam to get it to teleport up to you, quickly jump after you shoot your thing to land on the enemy you teleported, and then you can get to the chest.
You underestimate my ability to save states. I played some very complicated platformers.
That chest is going to be like, it's over, Mike. I have the high ground.
I'd still be all right.
You record Mike playing a game with a really complicated save state.
I've crashed games through save states multiple times. So, if you do it too often, too quickly, they'll overload the emulator, and you have to close it and reopen. It'll close for you, I should say. So, I've done that plenty of times.
Yep, I've done it too.
Any other games you want to mention?
No, I mean that's kind of where WWE 2K24, gotta love it. They just released the Fiend Edition. I probably have not mentioned this, but I mentioned that I'm a huge wrestling fan. I was a huge fan of The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, rest in peace. And so they just released that with a new costume and all this stuff. And so they actually just released it like 2 days ago, and I'm actually excited to dig into it. But I promised my son I would do it with him. So, because he liked The Fiend too, which was surprising considering he was like 4 years old when The Fiend came out and it originally scared him.
All right. I actually have one last game to mention. I've been playing Vampire Survivors again.
Yay!
I don't even know why I picked it up. Because I need to record about it because I have a list that I've been telling myself to get to one day. And Kobe, you're on that list to one of the people to join me for. And if I just started, I needed something to play. I'm like, I'm ahead of the schedule. I beat Mega Man 11. I'm like, I'm just gonna start this, and I have put 20 hours into it within a couple weeks. Like, I just couldn't put the damn game down again. Like, it's just so much fun.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about those types of games, because if you try to explain them to people, they sound like the most boring thing in the world. But they're not boring at all. It's like, oh yeah, your weapon automatically shoots. All you have to do is move and sort of strategize what weapons work best, against what hordes. But yeah, when you're playing it, it's like, I'm just having fun.
I've been having a great time playing it again, and I've been going through it and getting, trying to do the achievements I never got around to finishing, and just having a blast. And I'm doing the Among Us DLC, which I really, really don't like Among Us.
Yeah, the Among Us, I think, is the worst of the DLCs. The Contra one is really good, though.
I played it once for a couple minutes. I'm trying to finish. Once I finish Among Us, then I'm going to dig into the other one.
Yeah, you got to get those characters unlocked and those weapons unlocked from the Contra DLC. And that level's really fun, and it has a boss that's reminiscent of the Genesis Contra game.
Oh, Hardcore.
Yeah, Hardcore. there's like a boss that really reminds me of that, and you like run around the arena while your weapons are shooting at it, and it has like the ball arms that are kind of coming towards you. Yeah.
It's weird how well they make this stuff work, but like I'm just going through all the Among Us. I finished the regular game. I've been trying to win the adventure modes, and I just cannot beat the last level of the other adventure mode that it wants me to do for an achievement. I've gotten close. I gotten the Reaper to spawn, the modulation Reaper at 30 minutes, but I just haven't been able to kill him.
Yeah.
And then I just don't want to play again.
Yeah, I have all the achievements unlocked for Vampire Survivors.
It's fun. I'm happy to be replaying it though. Like it felt good to go back to it, and I just kind of play it here and there. I mean, I'll get burned out again and put it down, but I'm trying to mess with it and I'm only missing 2 achievements from the Steam. No, I'm missing like 6 achievements from the Steam, but I don't have the one you have to banish 40 weapons in a run. I just don't want to do that.
Oh, that's really annoying.
Yeah. That's one of the ones I just haven't. I'm just like, I just don't care.
Yeah. That was, I think it was like one of 3 that I still had to do. And then I was like, fine, I guess I'll just do this.
Well, I haven't even spent enough gold to get all the banishes to even try it.
Mm-hmm. Trying to see. I'm pretty sure. As I get 220 out of 220. I have them all.
And there's a few others that are in-game only, but I'm sure you have a lot of those too. Or all of them.
Oh yeah, I have all the characters unlocked and all of that stuff. The Among Us DLC and the Contra DLC don't have achievements. So
just in-game
that was
achievements.
Pretty nice. Yeah.
I think they maxed out what they were allowed to have, I think, is what probably happened.
No, not even close, because I'm playing an idle game right now called Idle
Cookie Clicker.
No, it's I'm a weird sucker for idle games, but it's called Idle Slayer, and it has 621 achievements.
God,
Jesus, that's too many.
I agree. It's too many.
Also free.
Like, unless they're just giving you achievements like the Deadpool video game did just for starting up the game and getting off the chair.
Well, achievements, there's achievements for like every level, every 50 levels of your weapons, of all your different weapons, you get another achievement.
Hey, and it's one of the features, by the way, so that's what it says on here. It's one of the features of this game is that it has 300 plus in-game achievements.
It certainly does.
I think they sold themselves short by saying 300 plus.
Yeah, they probably haven't updated it in a while. But I also have it tied to my phone, so I can like at lunch at work, like I'll do a little updates on my phone, and then when I get back and I turn it on my Steam Deck, then those achievements just pop. So it's pretty nice to have them tied together. But anyway, it's an idle game, so who cares?
Right.
You'd be surprised. All right, and Colby, what is something else you're playing? If you want any last games to list off?
No, you'll get I've been playing a lot of Castlevania games, but we already recorded an episode where I talked mostly about that.
Which is out at the time you're hearing this.
Okay, and then I played more Bloodborne, but again, you've heard all of my thoughts on Bloodborne in the Bloodborne episode.
Yes. Good episode too, by the way. All right. Joe, do you have any other games that you want to talk about that might involve pillows?
So Joe? I got a letter in the mail. It's from my dead wife. That's impossible. She's been dead for 3 years. Also, if my husband found out I had a wife, he'd probably kick my ass. No, he doesn't. I have been playing the Silent Hill 2 remake. I will somewhat back up the claims that Bluebird did knock it out of the park. The game stutters like a motherfucker, so someone needs to hurry up and make a mod loader because I'm not very good at doing mods. But yeah, that thing stutters like an asshole in like town. When you go inside the buildings, it's fine. But I've never been more excited. The game's great. Graphics are incredible. If Silent Hill 2 original was a B movie that was, or like a B movie that was low budget and has a beloved fan base, they definitely remade it into a 2024 like 5-star high budget remake movie.
Makes me happy.
Yeah. It's jarring because it plays like Homecoming, but way better. there's maybe
It's a high bar. Be better.
Yeah.
High bar.
There is a dodge button. They got rid of one healing item, so instead of just having in the original, instead of having a first aid kit, you just now have the glass drinks. And then, like even more jarring, there's a part where you walk up and open a first aid kit, and there's just a big dirty needle. And James goes, "Huh." And he shoves it in his pocket, and your big healing item is just a syringe. So James just stabs himself with a syringe to get more health.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, you are fighting nurses that want to kill you and lots of other terrible things. So, what's a needle with tetanus? So,
yeah, the new cast basically knocks out of park. Silent Hill 2 original has very hokey voice acting, but that makes it part of the game because everyone in that game is a freak. This one actually makes you genuinely feel bad for everyone. I mean, to be fair, I've always felt bad for Angela, but
you should.
It makes you feel bad for everyone. And what's even worse, because I was telling my husband this, I have never played a horror game where I've actually enjoyed doing the boss fights. Every single boss fight you've had in this game, which is the first Pyramid Head, which is no longer in just a big dumb room. You actually have to like dodge the attacks like a Dark Souls boss. You know, the hanging boss in the hospital is also a genuinely difficult and cool boss fight. What is it? The game's a little more open. You find a bunch more side quests and more stuff they wanted to add to this story originally that they didn't do for the first game. And I'll go ahead and just leave it at that because I don't want to do too many spoilers in case people actually want to play it. I just reached the last part, which is the hotel. And I have to clean my chair every time I'm done because I've probably pissed myself at least twice. It's genuinely spooky, especially because I decided to do the thing where I put on my headphones on, I put on surround sound, and it's just like it's no longer a brick in a washing machine. Like there's actually shit like fucking doing on with the music that scared the shit out of me, and just been having a really good time.
I'm so happy that it's doing well because I thought it was going to be like a trash game, and it's not.
Mm-hmm. I was super worried.
I've heard it was really good. One of my best friends is actually playing it, so I'm waiting for the official verdict from him, but he's a huge Silent Hill fan, so like I'm assuming he's going to like it, but I'm waiting for the official verdict before I decide to play it because quite a few Silent Hill games have disappointed me.
What are you talking about? They're all great. Homecoming is a grade A piece of shit. What are you talking about? My God.
I can't wait for. Was it tomorrow? Is it Sunday? Right?
Sunday.
That? Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Fuck that game. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but yeah, I've been having a great time. If you need an excuse to play, I say play it. But also, it's a thing too where it's not really spoilers because they've already reviewed. I've looked it up. All the endings are still the same. There's 2 new endings which extend to other endings. One of them is really weird, and I'll leave it at that. But it's been a good time. I didn't think they would fuck up the melee system. I will say that is a weird thing where you basically just the melee weapon is just a melee button, and then you just hold down the aim button to aim, and you get 3 guns. And your melee weapon upgrades because James is stupid and he uses it to block a fucking fence, and so he uses his wood plank and then picks up a pipe somehow. So yeah.
I'm excited to play it. It might actually be on the show next year. I can't guarantee that because it depends on if I find a deal. But I might pick it up, Ashley, earlier than sooner than later, because it looks really good.
If you want to see Silent Hill 2 remake on the show, let us know, and then maybe I'll just buy it for my fuck now.
Join the Discord is what he means.
Oh yeah, we all pitch in on the Discord, and
you don't need to pitch in. Just join the Discord, and maybe I'll think. So I did just buy a new PC that I need to set up one of these days. That's been sitting on my coffee table for a good couple of weeks now. So I don't know. I'm nervous to do it. For some reason.
My 8-year-old's been wanting me to get a PC, mainly because he wants to try to dip his hand into YouTube, and I'm like YouTube creation. I'm like, you're a little young for that.
I mean, people do it, but
yeah, well, he actually wants me to dip my hand into it. I don't like putting stuff out there like that.
No, I get that. I mean, I do it completely. I get it.
Like coming on the podcast kind of fills that void for me,
No,
you
I
gotta
get
make your own podcast.
I had one for a while because I was an announcer for semi-pro football. So I would talk semi-pro football, and that podcast lasted about a year. And, then the divorce happened and all that fun stuff. And, didn't want to bring back the memories.
No, that's completely fair. It's hard. I'm surprised that I'm kind of surprised that I've gone almost 6 years doing this and over 700 episodes.
I'm the fucking youngest one here. God damn it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm 40.
Yeah, I'm 100.
Sorry, sir. You don't sound like a 100-year-old. I know what they sound like.
Oh, is this better? Do I sound 100 now?
It's a little better, yes.
No, you sound like Joe Biden.
Yeah, 100-year-old.
But
Hey, now he's only like 85, 86, 82.
there
Somewhere
should be
in
a
that
rule: if
range.
you're over 75, you can't run. But that's another thing.
I agree.
I also agree.
Go do something else.
Here's the thing. I know a bunch of 7-year-olds that can run circles around most 40 to 50-year-olds.
Well, maybe there should be a physical test then for election. They'd have to run a marathon. They can't run the marathon. They don't get to run.
No,
How's
they
that?
can do anything else, but not politics.
Yes.
Also,
Like, I don't
Right.
care what else you do. You can't be in politics anymore. Stop it.
take away phones and internet too. They're not allowed phones or internet. There we go. There.
Good
over
idea.
60.
I wonder why you
They-
say that. Huh.
They would be happy about that too.
All right, should we go on to movies and TV?
Yeah.
All right, I have some. I got a couple. I'll do more of a lightning round. I'll do my TV first. Pull up what I've been watching. So I watched a Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix. That's really good.
That one was really good.
That man is a
Um,
piece of shit.
Now, I do have some criticisms, okay? Because number one, the key thing that a lot of people don't remember about documentaries is most of them are not most of them are objectively
Oh, yeah.
biased.
100%.
I think that Bruce Pritchard, who will be the first one to call out Vince McMahon on his shittiness, hit the nail on the head when he said that this podcast or that this documentary did nothing to showcase anything that Vince McMahon did as far as like his charitable contributions and the things he did to help people around him. Like Bruce Pritchard's wife is still alive 24 years after she was diagnosed with cancer because Vince McMahon paid for her to get treated at the best hospitals.
I mean, I'm sure he's done good things, but he just sounds like a piece of shit in general. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he also doesn't take care of his employees. He's sexually I don't care how nice you are to individual people. He's a racist, misogynistic piece of shit. Fuck Vince.
Yeah, see, my whole thing is if you're going to do a documentary on somebody, show everything. You know,
I agree with you.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like that too. I want to have I wouldn't have mind some of the good things that he's done. I mean, he still show he's an ass, but at least have a little bit more. But it was just really good. It was very
really
interesting.
good. Even my girlfriend liked it. She was like, I was not aware of half of this shit. I was like, yeah, you're not going to hear about a lot of it, but I'm a firm believer in separate the art from the artist, which is why I can still listen to people like comedians and music and stuff like that other people disagree with because of personal actions. I don't care about the personal actions. I care about the art. I can have different feelings, but I can have different feelings about art than I can about the person themselves.
Well, I thought Vince McMahon was a piece of shit back when the Attitude Era, but that was what I also did like wrestling. So
yeah, I'm also not like that. There's plenty of good artists and stuff that don't suck, and I would rather support them than somebody who does suck.
I just said I might watch the movie that they're in, but I never said I'm paying for it. That's the loophole there. You ain't gonna see my money. I
How many episodes is it? Is it like 6 episodes? Because I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, it's like 6 or 8.
It goes quick.
Like an hour.
It goes really quick, actually, but I highly recommend it too. Or I'm high rate. And the other TV thing I want to mention is I started rewatching Veronica Mars again, and that show is so good. It's I just really like that show. She's a teenage detective essentially. It's one of my wife's favorite shows, and she wanted to watch, so we just started watching it together. I'm like, this is fun. So that's all I have for TV. Joe, what about you?
Play the theme songs. Joe's Anime Corner. Do. I don't remember how it goes.
I actually have not a theme song, but I have you singing it that I could insert if I remember.
Yeah.
Note to editor, insert it.
Mana. Do. Joe's TV Corner.
I have terrible taste in anime.
No, I don't.
I'm gonna start off with a not anime though. Surprisingly, I watched the first episode of Agatha All Along. They really gotta do something about these fucking Marvel shows because I don't even fucking remember. I didn't even remember what the beginning was for. I was lost for the first 30 minutes. Honestly, I can see why people kind of got thrown off from it too. No offense to the actress, I think that's kind of the point. Anyways, she's really hamming up her performance for like the very first 2/3 of that episode because they're still playing the joke that she's trapped in like a TV simulation. So she starts off as like a true crime, true blood TV show where Agatha is like a detective and she's trying to figure out a murder case and things like that. And they don't have enough money to play the woman that has Scarlet Witch, so she's not. They make references to her, but you don't see her and blah blah blah. But
well, her character can't be in this show, so
yeah. So it's not bad. I already know what happens up to this point anyways. Big reveal to stuff that happens, and everyone called it like 6 months ago, blah, 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 because Marvel's predictable.
Of course. It's one of the reasons I stopped kind of caring about Marvel TV.
Yeah, I'm hoping to hear good things whenever the last episode finally drops, because I think it's maybe there's like, I want to say there was a trailer for the mid-season finale, and so I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes in. So, I mean, I'll try to catch up to it, but I'm not that excited for it just because it's a spin-off character, and half the time these things are always like, we're going to have a big thing, and then nothing happens at the end. It's like, here's a cameo from a character, okay, bye, and it's like, awesome. Is that going to be in the movie? No, because we forgot. Oh, okay.
Right.
I also have not been watching a lot of anime. I maybe have like 2 shows I've been watching. The main one will probably make y'all laugh. If you have Crunchy, I probably recommend Crunchyroll more, but if I also recommend watching on Netflix too, the big new hot hit anime Dan 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 is a very special story about a boy who believes in ghosts a guy that believes in aliens and a girl who believes in ghosts. So they dare each other to go after the other ones. It turns out both are real. And so the girl gets abducted by aliens and the guy becomes possessed by a ghost. A ghost that is voiced by Rita Repulsa in the English version. So watch that version. That's what I'm doing. And she basically says that she wants to rip off his dick with her mouth. And he goes, oh. And so he ends up being possessed and saves the girl from aliens. But they also unlock her latent psychic abilities. So she is now psychic. So now they both believe in both of them, and they think it's crazy. And then we find out at the end of the episode that the guy's balls and dick is missing. So this is a story about a girl who's psychic and a boy possessed by a ghost who have a really cute relationship and go after his junk.
Okay.
Okay. The opening's also a bop. And then I've been watching Bleach. Watch Bleach. If you don't know, if you haven't started Bleach, start Bleach now and just watch Bleach. Bleach is great. My Hero season ended. Go watch that if you haven't. My Hero is also really good. It's ending too, so if you don't mind, I don't know, like 200 episodes, I think, give or take. I don't know. Anime. I'm probably wrong, honestly. Hold on. Let me go ahead and get a calculator. Well, I'll try to distract myself with saying other stuff too. But yeah, okay. It's 169 episodes so far. It's not too bad. I've seen
Nice.
Golden Girls is longer.
That's fair.
I did rewatch all of Golden Girls too, so.
And then I watched this other anime. I can't think of what the fuck it's called either. I've been watching Golden Girls with my husband too, which is really funny.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's really good.
Whenever me and my husband come home, it's like, we've had a long day. We don't want to cook anything. We bought a pizza, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what do we do? It's like, I don't know. Just put on Golden Girls and just watch like 4 episodes.
Hell yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to have like that show. That's me and my wife, Big Bang Theory.
I believe it's called Failure Frame. If you know what I'm talking about, I apologize. And I'm pretty sure, if you not, just look up what it's about, and I'm pretty sure it's there. Basically, it's about this guy. This guy's in the class. The whole class gets isekai. Isekai is transported to another world, where they, what is it they do? Oh, the whole class gets isekai, and they meet a goddess, and the goddess is like, hey, you guys need to, like, do what I say and fight monsters. And it's obvious that she's kind of a bitch and she's up to something heinous. And so all the other kids get really good abilities and he gets some shitty ability. And she's like, oh, you're C ranked here, so I'm going to go ahead and throw you in a dungeon. But her dumbass didn't read the instructions right. And basically his abilities to inflict like stun and sleep and everything. But it's 100% chance to hit. So he's just sitting there going up to enemies and going like sleep, poison, heal, sleep, poison, heal. And he ends up killing a bunch of high level monsters in like a night. So now it's really funny because he's like walking around being like the main character and he's like, I'll get my revenge. And he's like level 300 and it goes back to his classmates. And like 3 of them are assholes. And it's just like, oh yeah, I just became level 12. And it's like, I can't wait for this reunion arc whenever they show up and he just whoops all their asses simultaneously. Oh, and then I watched another anime that I completely forgot about. So I guess I have watched a couple animes. Do y'all like Death Note?
I do. Yes.
Never heard of it.
I don't know.
God damn it. Do you like Hunger Games?
Sure.
It was all right. I watched it for the sake of my ex-wife when we were together.
I like Jennifer Lawrence. I do like Hunger Games though.
I like
read
Battle Royale.
There's a series called Platinum's End where the main character, his family's killed and he has to live with his aunt and uncle who are pieces of shit. And he's about to jump off a building when an angel saves him and goes, yeah, we've been watching you this whole time. God jumped off the throne and doesn't want to be God anymore. So he gave us 13 angels to find 13 people. And now you'll have to kill each other. And whoever lives becomes the new God. And it's like, oh, okay, what do I get? And it's like, all right, well, here's a pair of angel wings. And you also get arrows. And one of the arrows, you can shoot in someone and they'll fall in love with you. But they'll only be in love with you for 33 days. Also, they'll do whatever you want. So if you really want to, you can tell them to kill themselves and they will. And it's like, oh, what's this other arrow? Oh, that's just a regular white arrow. That just kills people instantly, no matter what. And it's like, oh, okay, that's fucking weird, but I guess I'll use this. And so basically, they have to fight each other to the death.
Okay. I'll just stick with Death Note.
Yep, it's made by the guy who made. It's made by the guy who made Death Note. That's why I brought up Death Note.
I like Death Note a lot. But
yeah, so basically, the guy that made Death Note went, oh man, what if I fucking made a battle royale? And that's basically what it is.
All right.
That's my corner. Go ahead.
Okay. And Isaiah, do you have any TV shows?
Yeah, so I highly recommend Muscles and Mayhem, the American Gladiators unofficial story documentary. That
That's
one
a good
was super
documentary.
good. Yeah, like especially if you were a fan of American Gladiators back in the 90s, like you get a really big, interesting look into behind the scenes and stuff like that. Lover, Stalker, Killer is another, like if you're into like murder mystery documentaries and stuff like that, that one was really weird. I really liked that one. So I could definitely recommend that. So yeah, I just spend my time watching a lot of documentaries.
Same.
But I definitely highly recommend Muscles and Mayhem if you haven't seen it, and Lover, Stalker, Killer. Also, I definitely recommend so Netflix has been working their way into like TV shows and stuff, or like reality game shows and stuff like that. So I definitely highly recommend checking out The Mole, which is really good, and The Trust. I really am. I just started watching that one yesterday, and I'm really liking that.
Okay. All right. Then we'll go to movies.
Oh, that's all right. I don't watch TV. You know that.
I forgot you didn't. Oops.
I was waiting for Kobe. I want to know what Kobe has so much.
I only watch one show on television, and it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I do a whole podcast about it that I'll tell you about later. It's called This Bizarre Adventure. And man, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is great. We talk about how stupid it is on a regular basis, and then like, who cares? It's the best show I've ever seen.
I am curious to watch it now.
We are at this point in Stardust Crusaders episode 17, I think was the newest one. Death 13 Part 1 was the last one that I watched.
Oh.
And
the baby stand. Kakyoin writes baby stand on his arm with a knife. And it's so weird and so good. And every episode I watch of it, I'm like, this is better than the last episode I watched of it. And I love everything about this stupid show about these dumb, beefy boys doing dumb shit. Have you heard of JoJo, Isaiah?
No, I have not.
If you're a big wrestling fan, I also recommend it because it's equally absurd. Because you can say things like this. Hey, Mike. Colby.
Yeah?
Do you remember that part in part 3 where Jotaro makes out with his teacher to rip a stand out of her mouth?
Yes. I also remember when Caesar kisses a girl when he's fighting Joseph, and then he kisses her again, or then Joseph kisses her and a bird flies into his mouth.
Oh man, remember when JoJo had to climb that big pole made of like fucking grease to try to learn how to breathe better?
Yes. And he was wearing a mask so he couldn't breathe good.
And he didn't know that was his mom.
Yeah, do you remember when he was going through her underwear drawer and then later you find out that it was his mom?
Remember when he spies on her in the bathroom and he's like, oh yeah, naked lady, and you find out later it's his mom?
Remember when the one girl gets possessed and then Joseph says, you better get hot again by the next time I see you, and then they get married?
Okay.
Wow.
Remember at the end of part 2 when Jojo, the main character, goes to see his grandson and goes, "Oh man, I really fucking hate the Japanese."
Yes. Do you remember the last episode of part 1 where Dio falls off a cliff and chops off his head with his own hand?
Yeah. Remember when he was falling to his death, so he shoved his own legs into the walls so he doesn't succumb to fire?
All right, I'm going to take over. I have a couple movies to watch.
I'm
Because some
really
friends-
high. I could have gone on forever.
I know.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I could have gone on forever, and I'm not high.
I don't recommend this movie to anybody. It's called Don't Breathe. It's a horror movie about a blind guy played by Stephen Lang, and these people break into his house to steal from him, and he murders people. But
That spoiler warning and graphic warning. If you do not know what Mike's going to say next and have
I'm not going
seen
to
this
say what's
movie,
in there. I'm just saying I watched that movie and don't do it.
yeah, it gets crazy.
I was not a fan. I was like, it was okay, but when you get to the part with the turkey strainer, I'll just say that, the gravy baster thing, I'm like, fuck, what the fuck is this? Like, what the hell am I watching? And yeah,
Do you want to know the worst part of it, Mike?
There's a sequel?
There's a sequel about him trying to save his daughter.
No,
And
I didn't care for the movie at all.
Yeah.
I watched that. Then I saw 2 movies in theaters. I saw Beetlejuice. I know it came out like a month ago. I enjoyed it. I hate
okay.
Beetlejuice 1, but I enjoyed Beetlejuice.
Didn't you hate Beetlejuice originally?
Yeah, I hate the original, but I enjoyed the second one.
Crazy.
That is the craziest.
I'm
Michael, you say the craziest shit I've ever heard, but that was the craziest thing you've ever said.
Yeah, I did not like Beetlejuice 1 at all, but I enjoyed Beetlejuice decent amount. My wife was like, "This is stupid." I'm like, it's fun. I laughed. I don't need to see it again unless I review it, but I laughed. So yeah.
I
And then
mean, do you really need to see it again to review it if you've already seen it?
Well, because of the way I do the show, I always watch the movie right before we talk about it. Within a couple days, I try. That's just the way the show goes. But yes, and then I also the last movie to mention is I saw Transformers 1 in theaters. That was really fun. I got to go with my son. First movie we saw together ever, and he's 17, but he's finally living closer. And that's a really good film.
I've heard it's really good.
It's fun. It was well worth it. And Joe, do you have any movies to mention?
I think so. I really have been watching a lot of movies recently. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
What is it? I did watch the remake that came out recently of Salem's Lot. I've never seen the original, but I thought it was pretty good. Nothing wrong with it. Everything else is fine. Other than that, I'm not gonna lie. I've not been watching a lot of movies, so that's pretty much all I got.
Okay, Colby.
I watched a movie called Prisoners of Ghost Town.
All right.
Just let me make sure that that's correct, because I need everybody to watch this movie and tell me if I am insane.
You're insane.
Ghostland. It's called Prisoners of Ghostland. It stars Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that's all you gotta say.
And it is a post-apocalyptic thing, and I'm not going to spoil it. It's not exactly it's not the craziest story. It's a pretty standard hero's tale story, but it's told in the craziest way I've ever seen. Some of the most insane visuals I've seen in a movie. And if you want to see a movie where Nicolas Cage screams "Testicle!"
Sold.
All right.
Watch Prisoners of Ghostland.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you why he screams testicle. You wouldn't believe it if I told you. But okay. It is Nicolas Cage turned up to the most Nicolas Cage I've ever seen him.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, it's really, and we've been watching Nicolas Cage movies around here recently, and this is up in, I'm going to say, the top 5. It's probably 5, but it's just sit back and enjoy Nick Cage being Nick Cage and screaming about testicles.
Some people can't enjoy Nick Cage being Nick Cage. I can enjoy Nick Cage being Nick Cage, but you got some people that just can't.
Well, they're wrong.
Nick Cage.
They're wrong. And also, anybody who says that the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movies are bad, also wrong. Those movies are fantastic.
First one's good.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
the
didn't like
first
the
one was
second
good.
one, but I haven't seen
The
it.
rest of them, yeah, were kind of bunk.
There's only 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I never got their wood out of that, unfortunately.
To be fair, when it comes to Nicolas Cage, the second Ghost Rider, Nick Cage was being Nick Cage. So you could almost say that every movie Nick Cage has made afterwards has been another Ghost Rider movie.
Love it.
And Isaiah, do you have any movies to mention?
Actually, yes. On Netflix, there's 3 movies called Escape Plan 1, Escape Plan 2, Escape Plan 3. I highly recommend Escape Plan 1 because it was really good. So Sylvester Stallone plays a expert at breaking out of prisons. Like, he does it for a living.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's got Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
Oh.
Really good. I highly recommend it. Escape Plan 2 was nowhere near as good. It was actually kind of like, if I give Escape Plan a B+, Escape Plan 2 probably gets like a D+, still passing, but it's not like great. But Escape Plan 3 definitely is better than 2, so I give that a solid B-.
All right.
So I definitely highly recommend checking those out. I've also kind of started rewatching The Expendables just because, seeing Sylvester Stallone acting with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I was like, yeah, I kind of need some more Sylvester Stallone action in my life.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
So, oh yeah, especially because he is a very prolific actor, action actor from my childhood. Like, one of my favorite movies is always going to be Demolition Man. Like, I love that movie. That movie was so good.
I still need to watch that other fucking movie that I keep thinking is Demolition Man, but it's also not Demolition Man.
That doesn't narrow it down.
It's The Rock.
Right?
Oh, The Rock is way better than Demolition Man.
I don't know. Demolition Man's pretty fucking good. But then again, when I think of Demolition Man, I also think of...
How did you get The Rock from Demolition Man?
Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing.
I've never seen The Rock.
Good
Oh,
movie.
it's so good. It's one of Nick Cage's movies where he's not actually being Nick Cage.
Yeah, The Rock is great. Demolition Man, you're probably remembering Wesley Snipes because Stallone is not good in that movie. Wesley Snipes is fantastic in that movie.
Yeah. No, because when I think of Demolition Man, isn't the whole plot of The Rock that those things explode?
Well, the whole plot of The Rock is that they have a bomb that they're going to launch nerve gas, and they're trying to break in to stop it.
Yeah, so for a bomb, I think Demolition Man. Nothing blows up in Demolition Man. That's a lie. Everything blows up in Demolition Man.
Blow up in Demolition Man. There's a reason Sylvester Stallone's character is called the Demolition Man.
Yeah. Also, I remember that movie's the one where it's in the future, and Taco Bell's the only surviving fast food joint.
That's Demolition Man.
And you wipe your ass with 3 C-cells.
Yeah, that's Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remembered all the good things about Demolition Man.
Like the best parts of Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes and the seashells.
He doesn't know how to use seashells. Rob Schneider, one of the best supporting actors in that movie.
Woof.
He is in that movie, isn't he?
Rob Schneider's never been good in anything.
No. I'm too high to argue.
Beg to differ.
I'm too high to argue with any of that.
Yeah, I'm too tired to argue. But let's just say I'm right and keep moving.
Any other movies?
I'm completely tapped out.
Okay.
No, I mean, that pretty much covers some of the last movies I've watched over the last couple weeks. So.
Okay. And since Mario couldn't join us, I'm gonna have a small insert that you can hear right here what Mario's been playing. I just want to put it at the end.
And now from Bias Gaming, Mario on this month's What Are You Playing? And although I wasn't able to join this month's recording of What Are You Playing, I have actually been playing Astrobot. It's a really good family-friendly game. It's very nostalgic. It's kind of a collectathon, actually. It pays a lot of homage to all of Sony's catalog. Anything from Crash Bandicoot to Ape Escape to Jak and Daxter to God of War. The most current one, actually. And it's a whole lot of fun. I mean, my wife and we played it. I played it with my kids. It brought me back to my childhood of, just sitting as a kid, playing Nintendo 64 or PS1 and playing Crash Bandicoot or playing Donkey Kong 64. A game like that, where you played it just to play it. And if you find some secret stuff in there, it's just all the more better. However, the secret stuff that's actually in this game isn't really secret because this whole game itself is just an homage to, again, like I said, Sony's library. And just to skip to the end, this game to me is a stack. I bought it the month it came out, and honestly, I would buy it again if I could. And I really recommend it to anybody who likes, just old school games. Just wants to, relive, their childhood a little bit. You just put on a game, go to a world, find some characters or find some, coins and stuff like that so you can unlock some more stuff. like cosmetics, play this game. To me, I would say it's honestly a 9 out of 10. The reason why I say 9 is because what it is lacking is a couch co-op feature, or just any kind of co-op feature in general, because playing solo with your family and friends, around, and you're having a good time. Oh, look out for that. Look out for this. But it's fun. But just playing with somebody else, though, kind of like how, if I remember correctly, the Astrobots playroom for the PSVR was very similar. But I remember there being actually a co-op mode for that one. But again, this month, I've been playing Astrobot. Great game. Highly recommend it. Hopefully, you guys play it too. And when it comes to movies this month, what I watched actually was The Black Phone. I know you guys, Games My Mom Found, will be talking about it hopefully sometime soon. And if they do, please call me. Fantastic movie. I wish I had seen it in theaters. Ethan Hawke in this movie is just chef's kiss of a villain. It's super dark, super creepy. And as a parent, you kind of would hate watching it, but at the same time, just the movie itself is just great. Thanks for having me back on, guys. See you guys next time.
I don't know what you said, Mario, but it sure was good.
Yeah, great job, Mario. You have the best taste of all of us.
I especially like that one thing you said about that one thing. It's great.
Yeah,
man.
it was really good. Good jokes.
Nobody heard it but me so far. So, but all right, let's go to plugs. And Gobi, where can people find you at?
You can find me anywhere you find podcasts. You can type in, actually, if you put in my name, most of my shows will come up, but you can see me on Some Nobody's YouTube channel. You can look up Jack Billings Presents, and that shows Jack Billings Presents, which is a scripted fiction podcast that takes place in alternate dimension, Reading, Ohio's. The new season starts November 5th. Jack Billings Presents King of the Big House, where we're all in prison, and then weird stuff happens. And you can also find my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure podcast called This Bizarre Adventure, which is ostensibly about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but more like two insane people who like a crazy show talking to each other.
Right.
No socials, because I can't stand social media.
We met in social media, though.
Yeah, but that's personal, not for my creative endeavors.
That's fair. I have a bunch of socials for the podcast. I also made a new one, but called Fuse. But we'll see where that goes. I don't know. Barry from friend of the show, Barry Carenza, had posted on Twitter, so I'm like, okay, I'll try this, and I'm like, I don't know how this works yet. So yeah, it's another social media type thing where it's for video games where you can mark down the games you're playing and games you beat and stuff. I don't really know much about it yet.
Oh, didn't you talk about that in the Discord at one point?
I don't think so. I just joined it. I don't think so. I don't know. Who knows? I don't remember. I'm tired. I can't even find anything about it when I'm Googling it right now, so I know it wasn't a dream. I can see it on my phone.
It's gone.
It was all a dream. But all right, if you enjoyed this episode, we have tons of these What Are You Playing? You will see a link in the show notes to all the old What Are You Playing? Every month we do one of these stuff, and go check that out. You will see a link to our Discord. Please join our Discord. Chat with us. If you want to be on the show, that's the way to do it, because I ask for guests on the Discord a lot. And if you want to suggest things, I'll get to it eventually. Someday, maybe. I promise. But if we don't do that, less. But yes. But then you got to be a friend of mine to get on my Facebook more so than Discord.
Right,
you can just join the Discord. So, but I have befriended random people like, hey, you want to be on the show? All right. Because I used to only do Facebook. Now I'm trying to lengthen it out into Discord more. And I still do Facebook depending on the episodes. But if you want to do that, I want you to stop my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Freak. Follow her on TikTok and Instagram. You will see a link to her show notes. Definitely go check her. Link in the show notes to her link tree. Definitely go check her out. Also check out Bill Tucker, The Gamer Looks at 40. You will see a link to his podcast. He's talking Final Fantasy for the rest of the year, I'm pretty sure at this point, whether he wants to or not. So definitely go check out his podcast. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, TikToks, once in a while squirrel videos, YouTube, audio only, but you can find us on all those different platforms. And I don't remember if I said this yet. You want to support the show? We do a Patreon. We have 1 to 2 polls a month. Definitely go do that. Also rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. And I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.